In this tutorial today, we are going to learn how to actually use the transform.localScale function in the transform component to change the size of our cube. So first, let's go ahead and look up the documentation for transform.localScale and figure out how it works and how we can actually use it. So just transform local scale unity. And here we go. We got the documentation for that function. And okay, so we can just see here, so this changes the scale of the transform relative to the parent. So that's an interesting thing. So we're not setting the actual scale, we're altering the scale relative to what it is initially. So that's good to know. And then we can just see here, this is the argument list that it accepts a vector 3, this vector 3 local scale. So now we know basically what to do. So let's go back to the script. So this is that vector 3 is a new data, or a new type that we haven't dealt with before. You probably are pretty familiar with it from the 3D work that you've done. But vector 3 is just a data type that has 3 coordinates, x, y, and z. And in this case, x, y, and z represent the relative scale in the 3 dimensions. All right, so now that we know what to do, let's try creating a new vector 3 and then setting transform.localScale with that new vector 3 and seeing if it changes the size of our object. Okay, so first we're gonna create a new variable in here, which is gonna be a local variable, a variable inside of a function. And so we don't need to declare an access modifier, so we just do vector 3, and we're just gonna call this new scale equals new vector 3. So you can see it tells me the arguments that go into the vector 3, x, y, and z. So this is a little bit different. We're setting a variable here, but this variable is an object. So because it's an object, we need to instantiate it, and that's what this new statement is here. This is actually creating a new vector 3 object, and then we're setting it as that type. And then it just takes 3 arguments in the constructor, which you remember that from your Python tutorials, that these are the arguments that get passed in when the function is created, and these are just the x, y, and z for the vector 3. So we're instantiating it and setting it, and then we're just going to do transform.localScale equals new scale. We're going to save that. And let's go back to Unity, and if all went according to plan, the object should change sizes. Let's see. And it did. Okay, so now we can change the scale of an object. Next, we're going to try to take that ability and actually turn it into some functionality that we can use.